आत्मा अमृतं शरीरम् ॐ कर्तो समरा कृतं समरा कर्तो समरा कृतं समरा. Mum, 80. Okay, nicely. And yeah. ईश्वर तेरी दया निधे बहुत कृपाय जपो संधि कर्मणा धर्म अर्था कामा मोक्षी रहे सदा सदैव भावनाय लम्मग्नि जात वेद से ईदमम. Which one is the right side? Anyway. ईश्वर तेरी दया निधे बहुत कृपाय जपो संधि कर्मणा धर्म अर्था कामा मोक्षी रहे सदा स्थिर भावनाय. Yeah, okay. Take some flowers. Take some flowers. And you have to stand here. Okay, can you start? नमस्कार भाइयों बहनों, आई एम पंडित आनंद शर्मा और आज हम सभी बहुत दुखी हैं, एज यू ऑल नो. हम यहाँ आए हैं अपने माता जी के अंतिम संस्कार करने के लिए और जैसे जैसे हम आगे बढ़ेंगे मैं आपको समझाऊंगा क्या क्या होता है और मंत्र पढ़ूंगा और जैसे जैसे हम अपना पूजा पाठ करेंगे. I'd like all of you to participate with me. I am a पंडित who likes to interact with people. So आप लोग मुझे भी अपना सपोर्ट दीजिए, so everything will go smoothly. Okay? So हम शुरू करेंगे ईश्वर उपासना से और उससे पहले हम गायत्री मंत्र बोलेंगे. So आप लोग खड़े हो जाइए, हम 3 बार गायत्री मंत्र से शुरू करेंगे. हाथ जोड़िए. ओम भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो. It's all right. He can remain sitting. We always make exceptions. He can remain on his seat. Om bhurbhuvasvaha तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात्। एक बार और। ओम भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात्। आप लोग बैठ जाइए। और अब हम ईश्वर उपासना करेंगे। ईश्वर उपासना मीन्स वी गोइंग टू फोकस एंड मेडिटेट ऑन द लॉर्ड। और if I have some time, I'll try and explain few things. Otherwise, we'll move on. आप लोग अगर जो जानते हैं मेरे साथ बोलिए। ओम विश्वानि देव सवितर्दुरितानि पराशुवा यद्भद्रं तन्नेयाशुवा। ओम हिरण्यगर्भा समवत्ताग्रे भूतस्य जाता प्रतिरेकसाति सदाधार पृथ्वी धामुतेमा कस्मै देवा यः विशाविदेमा। ओम ये आत्मदा बलदा यश विश्व उपासते प्रशिशं यश देवा यश छाया अमृतं यश मृत्यु कस्मै देवा यः विशाविदेमा। ओम ये प्राण तो निमिषतो माहितवेक इंद्राजा जगतो बहुये यैषे द्विपदश कस्मै देवा यः विशाविदेमा। ओम ये दोर्ग्रा पृथ्वी चाधिड़ा येन स्वास्तभितं येन नाका। ओ अंतरिक्षे रजसो विमाना कस्मै देवा यः विशाविदेमा। ओम प्रजापते नन्देवता विश्वजातानि परिता बहुय यत्कामाश्रिते जुहुमस्तन्नो अस्तु वयं श्यामपतयोरहीनाम्। ओम सन्नो बन्धुर्जनिता सविदाता धामानि वे दिव्येनानि विश्वा यत्र देवा अमृतं धामानि धीरयान्ते। ओम अग्निनय सुपताराय अस्मान् विश्वानि देवभुवनानि विद्वान् यो यो दो असमज जुहरान मेनो भुविष्टान्ते नम उक्तिं विदेमा। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम। Okay, Arun, put the flowers. And you can take a seat. You can take a seat if you want to. Mm-hmm. तो भाइयों बहनों, आज मेरा हक बनता है कि मैं आपके समक्ष में दो तीन बातें करें ज़िंदगी और मौत के विषय में, और फिर हमारे बच्चे आएंगे, स्पीच देंगे, पूजा, आशु, प्रिया, ऋषि, शिवानी, और उससे पहले अरुण कुछ बोलेंगे। पर यहाँ पर मैं आपको दो तीन चीज़ बतलाना चाहता हूँ जो हर पंडित के हक है कि वो जब फ्यूनरल करते हैं तो थोड़ा कुछ समझाएं ज़िंदगी और मौत के विषय में। और मैं शुरू करना चाहता हूँ आपके समक्ष में रखने के लिए कि what is the purpose of the funeral? Why do we do funeral? According to our Shastras, Gita, Upanishad, and Puranas, and we, as you know, we have 4 or 5 different literatures and Gospels. वो हमको सिखलाता है कि हम मनुष्य अपने लव्ड वन के लिए फ्यूनरल करते हैं क्योंकि हम चाहते हैं कि हमारे जो लव्ड वन चले गए हैं उनको पूर्ण जन्म मिले या मोक्ष मिले। पूर्ण जन्म आप लोग जानते हैं, पूर्ण जन्म मीन्स कम बैक एज अनदर ह्यूमन बीइंग। ओके, दैट्स पूर्ण जन्म। और अपने कर्म के मुताबिक यू कम बैक। There's 8.4 million other kinds of species of varieties that we can go to, from amoeba to any other animals or plants or stones, but अपने कर्म के मुताबिक। I'm going to cover that. So हम फ्यूनरल करते हैं और यहाँ ईश्वर से हम प्रार्थना करते हैं कि हमारे बिछड़े हुए बहन सावित्री देवी कंबोज को जल्द से जल्द पूर्ण जन्म मिल जाए। मोक्ष मिलना तो बहुत मुश्किल है। मोक्ष मीन्स हम जहाँ से चले जाते हैं फिर कभी लौट के नहीं आते हैं, हम ईश्वर के पास चले जाते हैं, आत्मा जाके परमात्मा के साथ रुक जाता है। दैट्स मोक्ष। उनसे आगे है मुक्ति। सो इफ़ यू गेट अ मोक्ष एंड अ मुक्ति, दैट मीन्स यू नॉट कमिंग बैक इन एनी फॉर्म ऑफ लाइफ। ओके, अदरवाइज यू विल कम बैक in some form of life. The other purpose of having the funeral is, जैसे आप लोग जानते हैं, हमारे हिंदू संस्कार में 16 संस्कार होता है। पहला संस्कार होता है जब बच्चा अपने माता के वूम में रहता है, you know, within first 3 months is the first संस्कार। और अंतिम संस्कार ये है। So अंतिम संस्कार करना हमारे हिंदू के लिए बहुत ज़रूरी है। Some people don't even do that. They just go to the crematory and they just bury the dearly departed. Okay? So, अंतिम संस्कार करना बहुत ज़रूरी है। और तीसरा बात है कि why we do funerals like this is हमारे पुस्तक में समझाया गया, I don't believe in it, कि when somebody dies in the family, you become somehow polluted, अछूत हो जाते हैं। Okay? Maybe 200 years ago it was true, because body used to be taken home and body would start decaying and there'd be bacteria, virus and all kinds of other things, and the house and the people get polluted. Okay? Today it's not true because body doesn't go home. Body stays at the, at the chapel. So हम अछूत नहीं होते हैं. I don't believe in that. Some people do. Okay? बाहर उतारना है, नहाना धोना है, रात दिन कपड़ा, you have to burn your clothes when you go back from the chapel and all that. There's no use of that. So ये 3-4 कारण है कि हम अपने loved one के लिए अंतिम संस्कार इस तरह से करते हैं। दूसरा बात आप लोग को समझना चाहिए, everybody knows this, I'm just repeating what is very natural for us, कि we cannot defy death. Every 3 seconds in America, at least 5 people die. And no matter what we do, We get the best doctors, we get the best medicine, we get the best care, we get the best love and affection from the dear ones. जब हमारे टाइम जब पूरा हो जाता है तो ईश्वर हमको बुला लेता है अपने घर. हम जब पैदा होते हैं ईश्वर लिख देता है, नन्हे मुन्ने बच्चे तेरे मुट्ठी में क्या है, मुट्ठी में है तकदीर हमारी, हमने किस्मत को बस में किया है. You probably know that song, okay? So, we cannot defy death. और हमारे बहन यहाँ lived for what, 92 years? You know? In fact, of grieving for her, we should be celebrating her life. 92 years is a long, long time. Okay? I don't think many of us will make it to 92. Okay? So, यहाँ ईश्वर और भागवत गीता वगैरह हमको समझाता है और बहुत से भजन वगैरह हमको समझाता है कि जो आया है सो जाएगा, एक ना एक दिन. In fact, there's a nice poetry from Harbans Bachchan, father of Amitabh Bachchan, said, ध्रुव देख रहा हूँ हम खड़े खड़े, गम का सागर लहराता है, फिर भी उस पार खड़ा कोई हमको खींच बुलाता है. Somebody is calling us every day near the grave. कोई आज चला, कोई कल चला, बारी बारी से हम सबको जाना है. जब हमारी बारी आएगी तो मज़दार की आलम क्या होगा. So 10 by 10, as it is written in our destiny, we're going to leave this world. We're going to leave our loved ones. We're going to leave all our possessions. We're going to leave everything that we have earned over the last 80, 90 years. Okay? सब कुछ यहीं हम छोड़ के चले जाते हैं. और okay? आते हैं, मुट्ठी बांध के आते हैं, जाते हैं, मुट्ठी खोल के जाते हैं. Nothing goes with us. So ये बात समझना चाहिए और इस बात को दिल में रखना चाहिए कि every day as we are getting old, people like me, as we get old, we're getting near the grave. We know every step we take, we're getting near the grave. So, हमको हमारे स्क्रिप्चर समझाता है, be a nice person, be a nice human being. रोज रोज मंदिर वगैरह जाने के काम नहीं है, रोज रोज पूजा पाठ करने के काम नहीं. Just be a nice person to your fellow human being, to the animals, to the plants. And to be a nice human beings, आप लोग जानते हैं क्या करना चाहिए. Kind, generous, compassion. Okay? Things like that. Okay. Next thing, मैं आपको समझाना चाहता हूँ कि जैसे आप लोग जानते हैं भागवत गीता chapter 2, text 22 and 27 कि हमारे शरीर तो गुजर जाता है, शरीर को हम ले जाके क्रेमेटोरियम में बर्न कर देते हैं. That's fine. बट हमारे अंदर जो आत्मा है, there is a entity within us जिसको हम आत्मा कहते हैं, soul कहते हैं, never dies. Never dies. Never gets old. Never gets tired. Never gets sick. Never has any pain and suffering. But the question arises, where is the Atma? Has any brain surgeon or cardiologist said, oh, I was operating on this guy, I saw a little black thing in there, that could be the Atma? Nobody knows. Somebody has said Atma is from the top of our fingers to the top of our toes, somewhere in there. And when we die, जब हमारे मौत निकलता है, the Atma goes out from one of the openings. We have about 9 or 10 openings, like nose, ears, mouth, Some people say Atma resides over here. Could be true, we don't know. Nobody can prove that. But there is a sacred entity within us called Atma, soul, and when we die, take the last breath, the Atma goes to the Paramatma, and then the Paramatma decides what we're going to be in the next life, according to our karmas. Okay, and I'm going to discuss more. It's not only karmas, there's other things that goes into consideration. Okay? So, ये बात हमको अपने दिल में रखना चाहिए कि हमारे अंदर एक टेम्पल है जिसको हम आत्मा कहते हैं. And that temple, she has got everything. She's got nose, ears, hands, legs, everything is there except one thing. That's the Atma, that's the soul. You put it within her, she'll be alive again. So the last thing to go from our body is the Atma. Now the next thing, and I will discuss that further if I have time, I will quote some verses from Bhagavad Gita. Next thing हमको हमारे शास्त्रों में समझाया गया है कि जब हम पैदा होते हैं, we should go through this natural process, the laws of the nature जिसको हम बोलते हैं. And the natural process is we are, we are babies, then we grow, we are children, and then we become adult, and we go through that, and then we, become older, and we retire, and then we get more older, and then we start getting sick. कि यहाँ पे रहता है, वहाँ पे रहता है. We wake up in the morning because body cells are dying, tissues are dying. Just like an engine of a car, it's dying slowly. Okay? And finally, once we have made this 360 degrees turn, then we die. In fact, you asked any doctor or any medical people, they'll tell you within the last 5 years of your death, you go to the doctors more, you go to the hospital more, your medical bills are more. You are under a lot of medical stress because the body is getting old and is deteriorating slowly but surely. So if we can make that 360 degrees turn, see our children, and I have to play with our grandchildren, achieve everything that we want to achieve in our lifetime. Lifetime here is very short, ladies and gentlemen. An average age in America for man is like 78. For women is like 82, 83. They live longer. Okay? So, in this 70, 80 years of age, we like to achieve a lot of things that we come here and when we are born. So, Mataji, has achieved everything. She's seen her grandchildren, she's her children. She's done everything what she wanted to, and she lived a happy and a very, very joyous life, except for last 3-4 years she was sick, I believe. And so again, I emphasize we should be celebrating her life rather than grieving. All right? We should be, and I'm going to cover how we celebrate her life, okay? So the next thing I wanted to say, since I have a little bit of time, is जब हम यहाँ से चले जाते हैं ईश्वर के पास, what happens? क्या होता है? Nobody has come back to tell us क्या होता है. Nobody died and came back to us to tell us. So this is all transcendental knowledge. Means no one can prove it. But this is what the Rishi Munis, the spiritual scientists think what happens. And it has been covered a little bit in the Bhagavad Gita and Upanishads and other scriptures. That's very difficult to read and understand because it's so complicated. And a lot of things are written in Sanskrit, which is a very difficult language to learn and understand. So some of the things that Bhagavad Gita or other scriptures हमको समझाता है कि जब हमारे आत्मा परमात्मा के साथ जाके बैठता है तो ईश्वर, the God looks at the pap and the karam that you have done. And the Ishwar does the debit and credit, does the ledger. And if you have done a lot of good things, a lot of achhe karam, then he has no hesitation in sending you back and giving you a purna janam. If you have done a lot of pap, that doesn't mean everybody, we all do pap sin from time to time. Nobody can say I'm a perfect human being. There's no such thing as a perfect human being. We all have faults in us. We all have some kind of deficiencies in us that makes us human beings. To err is being human. To make mistakes is being human. So, so the first thing, pap and pun, is taken into consideration. Okay. The next thing is, according to Bhagavad Gita, chapter 8, maybe, हमारे दिमाग में क्या चल रहा था एट द टाइम ऑफ आवर डेथ, जब हमारे मौत निकला था तो हमारे दिमाग में क्या चल रहा था? What were we thinking? We were thinking of nice things that we'd like to do in our next life, or we were thinking of nice things we did in this life. We were thinking of becoming a prince or a king or next life, or a rich businessman or something, or we were thinking of something nasty or monstrous. And it all depends. हमारे दिमाग में जैसे Mahatma Gandhi, at the time he fell, at the time he was shot, he said, "Hey Ram, hey Ram, hey Ram." उसके दिमाग में राम के नाम चल रहा था. Maybe in the next life he'll come back as a Ram. Okay, oh, he is already. So, and that has been explained in Bhagavad Gita. State of the mind. Next thing is the time of the death. हमारे जब मृत्यु हुआ था, तो what was the time? What was it? An auspicious day? Was it, time when people were going to church and the temple? Was it a time when there was some kind of a celebration going on? And was it time when everybody, children and friends, were surrounding you? What was the occasion when you died? That's why when our beloved ones dies, we'd like to surround them. We don't like to leave them alone. That's the whole idea there. Okay? The next thing is activities of the children. What kind of relationship we had our children? That's why we forgive our children. They make silly and nasty mistakes and do evil and nasty things. We parents forgive them. What kind of relations you had with your children? And finally, the grace of the God. Was she a religious person? Was she a charitable person? Was she a devotee of some, Ram or Sai, or what kind of devotee she was to her Lord? That is taken into consideration. And there's other things that's taken into consideration. So the importance here is what your karmas, what your karams. अच्छे कर्म करोगे तो अच्छे रिजल्ट मिलेगा when you die. Bad कर्म करोगे, you reap as you sow. Somebody said to me the other day, अगर जो आप खजूर के पेड़ बोएंगे तो फल के आसरा नहीं करना. You get what you sow. All right? So the lesson over here is, do good karmas. And it's very hard. Very hard. We are human beings. We will continue to make mistakes, intentionally or unintentionally. We'll continue to do that. Mom must have made some good karmas. That's why she was given 92 years of life. All right? So that's important. The next thing is, हम क्या करें जब हमारे घर में कोई खास गुजर जाता है? What is our duty as a living human being and a loving and caring human being? What should we be doing? And you all know that. First चीज़ है, हम grieving family के घर पे जाके उनको श्रद्धांजलि देते हैं. We pay our homage and gratitude. A lot of people take food. A lot of people give money. We Fiji people, give a lot of money to the families so that they can do the payment of the funeral expenses and things like that. The next thing is, हम यहाँ चपल में आके अपने दिवंगित आत्मा को अलविदा कहते हैं. अलविदा means goodbye. I won't see you again. Okay. The next thing we do, we pray for the departed soul. जैसे हम आज प्रार्थना किए हैं, we'll do some puja on Saturday again. You guys will be doing something on tomorrow again. So हम प्रार्थना करते हैं. क्यों प्रार्थना करते हैं? हम प्रार्थना करते हैं कि वो दिवंगित आत्मा को मोक्ष मिल जाए, और या पुण्य जन्म मिल जाए. And finally, that our really like, as a very modern Pandit, I think we should celebrate life. Celebration of life doesn't mean we have a beer party, we have dance and song and all that, and we rejoice, No. Celebration of life means उनके विषय में हम अच्छी बात करें, उनको हम अपने ख्यालों में रखें, उनको हम अपने दिमाग में रखें, उनके विषय में जो कुछ हम उनके साथ बिताए हैं, गुड टाइम्स एंड बैड टाइम्स, वो रेमिनेंस करें, उसके विषय में बातचीत करें. फिर खाना पीना होता है 3 रोज में, उनके नाम लेके हम खाए पिए और ईश्वर को धन्यवाद दें कि जहाँ कहीं भी वो हो उनको सुख मिले, शांति मिले. And these are important things to remember, भाइयों बहनों. And हमारे बहन सावित्री देवी कंबोज, I think you gave me a write-up somewhere, right? You want me to read it or? Okay. Unfortunately, I didn't know her, so I'm not, privileged to say much about her, except I heard nice things from Vikash. Very wonderful rendition of a mother-in-law, and she did everything which a mother-in-law should do or a mother should do. And I believe she lived her life in a very virtuous way, which means she took care of her children, husband, and grandchildren, and she did whatever she could as a mother in a loving and caring way. She cooked and entertained and did that. Anyway, I'll read what I have been given here so that we can proceed. Savitri Devi Kamboj, fondly addressed as BBG, right, by her children and grandchildren, left us on February 17th, 2024. Her husband, Mr. Kishan Chand, the son Arun, daughter-in-law Manju, and her daughters Renu, Anita, and Sunita, sons-in-law Satish and Vikas, and grandchildren were by her side, which is lovely. Okay, she leaves behind a large extended family, including her 3 children, Naresh, 3 brothers, Naresh, Varindra, Vinod, and sister Kanta Kamboj. Savitri was born in Kartarpur, Punjab, India on December 10th, 1931 to parents Prasani Devi and Santosh Kumar. She was one of the 7 children, so she comes from a big family. BBG was always praised by her for her unconditional love and affection she gave to those dearest to her. She enjoyed taking care of everyone in the family. She learned cooking at a very early age, and feeding her family and guests became one of her greatest joys. A sign of a very good mother. From there, her creative endeavors grew and grew. She loved to knit and quilt beautiful blankets and garments for her family on special occasions, for special occasions. She also planted a nourished garden from which she picked a bounty of vegetables and herbs to create her wonderful recipes. So that means she was a very creative person. In May of 1977, after getting sponsorship from her brother, she migrated with her husband and 4 children to USA. As the family settled, she continued to watch over their growth. She relished the birth of her first grandson, Ashu, followed by 6 more grandchildren, Pooja, Priya, Shivani, Rishi, Anoop, and Avinash. BBG was a pillar of strength for her husband, her children, and extended family through both high and low times. She always handled all situations with grace, love, and poise. She joins her older brother Om Kamboj, and sister Prakash Kamboj in the heavenly abode. So she's going back and joining her brother and sister there. And as we always say, the ring of family cycle is up there somewhere too. When we have a family, is the gift of the God. That's why, even if we can't get along with the family, we should somehow make, some effort to get along with them, because it's a gift of the God. So when we have a gift of the God on Mother Earth, we also have the gift of the God in the heavens. That's our belief. I don't know whether that's true or not, but that's our belief, okay? As I say, it's all transcendental knowledge. Nobody can prove it. So she's joining her older brother Om and sister Prakash in the heavenly abode. Depending on the time, हम आगे और कुछ कहेंगे, पर अब यहाँ से हम मिस्टर अरुण को बुलाएंगे, वो शुरू करेंगे अपने eulogy, and then we call the speakers Pooja, Ashu, Priya, Rishi, and Shivani. I guess you can come in the same order. So, Arun, it's your turn. Go ahead.
Thank you, Panditji. Thank you very much for performing the ceremony to celebrate my mother and her life. So, thank you very much, family and friends. Okay, let me just say that one more time. Thank you, family. To my mother, anybody who came to our house, no matter how many times, even just one, that was part of our family. That's the way she believed it. And that's the way we serve everybody, anybody who came to our house. No matter if you came for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, or you stayed in our house for an extended period of time, you were always part of her family. So my mother, as you know, she was born in Kartarpur. From very early age, she had a knack for cooking. By the age of 8 and 10 years old, she actually became a very decent cook. So then she used to participate in a lot of cooking competitions, actually, like, you take your cooking, and then you take it to the school, and the teacher will taste it. So the legend has it that when she took, her teachers were so impressed by her cooking, when they were tasting her cooking, that's what I got from Mamaji, that they told the other girls, sit down, we are inspecting Savitri's cooking. I don't think they were inspecting Savitri's cooking, I think they were devouring it. So they were really loved how she cooked. So early she didn't have a whole lot of hobbies. She was always introvert, stayed within herself, and loved taking care of her parents and her siblings. So she had so much respect, and she was a very obedient child, and also very loyal to her siblings. So she really just wanted to take care of them and cook for them and make everybody happy. So at a very early age, like the age of 11, I believe it was 11, she had a severe illness. She probably fell and then had a lot of, then she was in a coma. So she stayed in a coma for almost 1 month. And her father, as Panditji mentioned, he was a Hakim. And he was a Unani Hakim, self-taught Unani Hakim. And with his care, his medicine, and her mother's, care, she came back to life. It took her to come back to life about a month. Then after that, she decided, okay, I really don't want to go anyplace. I just want to stay home, and I just want to take care of my parents and take care of my, my siblings. So that's what she did. So she did not want to go because there were tumultuous times. Freedom fighting was going on all over the place. She really didn't want to go out of the house. Whenever her mother asked her, okay, can you, let's go, we're going to go to the marketplace. When sister and her mother asked her, she said, no, you guys go, just lock the door from the outside. I'm just going to stay home. So she stayed home just to take care of, maybe started cooking and those kind of things. That's what she said. She was just a very introvert and basically taking care of her family all the time. She was a very strong person. I'm telling you, I have seen her strength, myself. She was physically very strong growing up. I never saw her sick until 2015. That's when I saw, okay, now she's getting sick. She may not be with us for maybe too long. Until then, I'd never seen her sick. Even when she was sick, she was always working and cooking for family members all the time. So one incident, I'm going to tell you how strong she was. And when my cousin here, Lalta Banji, she was getting married, and we went to her marriage. Then the barat, the wedding party, was about maybe 2 or 3 miles away. And so my mother had basically association with both sides. Banji is my cousin, so she's her niece. Then she was married to my Bibi's cousin, and then who has passed away a long time ago. But then, so she had dual relationship. So when we were done doing things over here at Banji's house, now she wanted to go to see the barat and her cousin and all that stuff. So she said, okay, come on, let's go. So she dragged me with her left arm, holding onto my right arm. She said, okay, let's go. We got to go catch the bus. Because it was about 2 miles away. We're not going to walk. And at that time, she was 7 months pregnant. She was 7 months pregnant with my sister Renu. And then, as we went to the bus, close to the bus, but driver didn't know that everybody had got in. The bus started moving. She says she dragged me up with her left arm, put me in the bus. On the second step, then somebody dragged me in. Then she got on the bus. This is when she was 7 months pregnant. What an incredible, how a strong person she was. So she welcomed everybody in our house. She loved cooking for everybody. So then anybody who came to our house, even people from my work came to my house, they just remembered, okay, how great she was. I got to our extended family, how she was loved by everybody because of her actions. But after she got married, she immediately, her mother-in-law, and my Tayaji's wife immediately were so impressed by her, they took her in. They said that, she would go over there and start working right off the bat, even right after wedding. Banji could attest that because Banji was there. So then, and she would start cooking. Then while my Taiji was taking care of the cows and milking cows in the morning, she got into the kitchen and started cooking for everybody, Nobody had they didn't miss anything. They didn't miss any of these. So my grandmother, her mother-in-law, was so impressed with her. So, then said, okay, you are just a very, new bride. What are you doing? Why don't you go rest? She said, when I rest, what I'm going to do? She just kept working. The other incident, I'm going to tell you how unselfish and how loving she was to everybody in our extended family, to my cousins, her nephews, and from both sides of our family. One time, my cousin, who was about 12 years older than me, his name was Naresh Bhai Sahab. I'm sorry, Ramesh Bhai Sahab. And he was getting married. So we all went to Patiala, Punjab. And my mom and I, and then, I think my sisters also. My Babaji was probably going to come a little later. Then we all went there. It was a very hot day in summer. Then we got there, and then my Puaji, she had cooked the food for us because they were all coming. Then my brother, my cousin, who was my actually mentor, Ramesh Bhai Sahab, he knew about it. He was at the office. Then he was coming home to have a lunch with us. So he was actually also drenched in, kind of it's a hot weather. I mean, you've seen the heat in Punjab. I mean, you will know. It's just like Arizona. So then he comes home, then we all sit down and eat. Then my mother notices that my cousin is very hot. He's perspiring. So we all sit down over there on the floor, start eating. And then she sees a couple of fans, the fans that you use the hands. She goes and asks me, give me, and then give me that fan. I thought she just wanted to use it for herself. Then she went back. Behind Ramesh Paji, she started giving him fan. Not worrying about herself, that she was also mad. Hot, she just came from it. And not even worrying about her kids, who also came in. She was, because she loved him so much. She used to tell me, If you want to become something, become like him. Then after it was all done, the respect and love was mutual. Then when Ramesh Baji got done eating, then he says, okay, Mami ji, tusi bhi kha lo kuch. Then he took the same pan, he was fanning my mother. I mean, this was so much love they had for each other. That was just incredible to see. So whenever when we came to United States, or anybody who came to our house, she always had him. She woke up 6 o'clock every morning, didn't go to bed until 11 o'clock, until the day she just slowed down. She was always in the kitchen and taking her home. And basically, anybody who came to our house, any time of the day, did not matter. She would cook fresh food for everybody. She was so efficient in her cooking, they could have a very good food within 15 minutes. It's not that you have to worry about it. So that's why, and she was very, I call her BPG, everybody calls her some other. When I was growing up, all my friends in our block called her BPG. They didn't call her auntie or anything like that. Even my cousins, they also called her BPG. So because she was so much loved, she took care of everybody. I just want to relate to one more thing, why I really am. I always thought she was my God. To me, I'm not a religious person, but if I do I have to worship anybody, I always did my mom. I got sick about 4 different times during my life by the time I was 10, 11 years old. I didn't think I was going to make past. Now I look back, I don't think I should have made past 10 years old. But what she did was, how she brought me back, keeping within herself, all night long for multiple days, making sure that I was cured. And I had serious injuries. I mean, I had injuries that were basically, I was bleeding through my head on all those 4 times. So then one time I got into typhoid, and I've had so much fever, so I was consumed with the typhoid. And then typhoid was a very contagious disease, and people say, okay, you put him in the corner, then take care of. But she did not put me in the corner. She used to sleep with me every night until I got better. She didn't care what happened to her. She used to sleep with me until I got cured. So I just want to send you one more thing. I told you about how she picked me up, in the bus when I was there. I can tell you, if she were born she was very strong all around the house, doing a lot of things. If she were born maybe about 20 years ago, around this time frame, and she had a good coaching, I think she would have given Simone Biles a run for her money. She was that strong and athletic. I mean, she was really. So when we came to the United States, and then we started jogging and all that stuff. My cousin Pinky, she said, "Aji, do you want to do exercise?" She went there, brought her a jogging suit and all that stuff, and she would jog every evening. Then my aunt, Adarsh Mamiji, she had to go to India because her mom was sick. Then she took care of both of our families. Her family and our family cooked for her. Then she stopped jogging. She said, no, that just takes my time away from feeding the kids and everybody in the house. So that's how she was. And that's how everybody remembered her. Then I'm going to tell you an incident that happened at my work. I used to have these brown bag meetings with my team all the time. So we used to sit there and have lunch and talk about what we were working on and what I was going to do tomorrow. Then at the end of the meeting, we'll say, okay, anybody can talk about anything else for a few minutes. So one time, one guy comes in. He says, one time one of the engineers mentions, he says, Arun, what do you think God was or God is? Is it a man or a woman? So they put a question to the whole, basically the whole group. There were about 7 or 8 of us. Then somebody said, we don't know. We can't tell, man or woman, could be either person or either gender. Then some people said man. Some people, nobody specifically said, woman. So the guy asked me, he says, Arun, what do you think? I said, you know what? I look at my sisters, I look at my wife, and I look at my mother, how she mentored them. I said, God must have been a woman. It had to be a woman. There is no way God could be a person, because nobody nurtures kids the way my mother does. So that's today I believe that I have lost my God, and then she's the reason I'm alive today. Basically, I don't think I would have made it without her. Okay, thank you very much for coming today. We appreciate that. Okay, and now it's Pooja.
Thank you, Mama G, for those really beautiful memories. It's really nice to hear that. Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here to honor and commemorate my dear grandmother, or as most of us know her, Bibiji. Today is a hard day, but in many ways, I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I get to celebrate Bibiji's 92 years on this earth, her long life, symbolic of two of her greatest strengths, persistence and resilience. Like when she resiliently transplanted her entire family for more opportunities in a new country despite a language barrier and an unfamiliar way of life. Or how she woke up each day before everyone else rose to do puja pat to bring a sense of peace and bestow blessings for the day. It was her silent fortitude that lifted us up. My gratitude does not end there. If you know me, you know I love food, and the genesis of that lies in Bibiji's food sorcery. I'm sure you'll hear many of us talk about how Bibiji connected us all to and through food. The experience was a beautiful, pervasive emotion. It was through her artistry that she covertly brought my entire family together under one roof, around one table, to weave our familial mesh. One joke, one quarrel, one roti passed to another, one photographic moment amongst many. Not only did we find common ground and unity through Bibiji's meals, but for me, eating and sharing my grandmother's food, prepared with such attention, care, and tradition, was an important connection to my cultural roots and heritage. In a land where we all just try to fit in, Bibiji taught me what it means to take pride in who you are and what you can offer to the world around you. Most notably, I'm grateful for the cocoon of support my grandmother alongside my grandfather provided us. She was committed to making us happy and secure, whether it meant secretly mixing us Nestle Quick strawberry milk to sip alongside our missy roti, or putting chupples to dirt to trek through the Canadian Rockies because her grandkids wanted to go on a hike with her. She raised 3 incredibly strong daughters and a son who loved her dearly, and in turn gave us generations of exemplars to live up to. I'll end with one of my favorite moments of Bibiji, which is when I watched her walk into my wedding reception in her turquoise like a tropical ocean suit, beaming with joy, waving to the masses. She looked regal. My entire life, she called me Pooja Rani, but Bibiji, you really are the true queen. I will miss you dearly, but I know that today, from your heavenly throne, you're watching over us. Your legacy of love and dedication reigning supreme in our hearts. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank everybody for coming today. I'm the oldest of all the grandkids, so I got a lot of one-on-one time with her growing up, so I feel like I have a really special bond with her. I was very lucky. My Bibiji, my Boji, my mom, my dad, all the sisters, we all lived together, right? So my parents worked really hard every day. My Bibiji was there after school every single day for me, making me food, taking care of me, teaching us like very, very important lessons and making us feel loved. She took care of everybody. Like she gave her life to her family. Like she literally gave her life so we could all live the best lives, the most prosperous lives because of her. Her presence really created a household with stability, love, consistency, and of course, the best food I've ever eaten in my life. My parents did an incredible job with me, but I wouldn't be the person if I am if it wasn't for her. Without her love and her influence. She was an incredible woman. She created a wonderful family and life in a brand new country. You can only imagine how hard that was for her, leaving everything she knew to come to a new place and start again. I was so lucky to feel like I had two moms growing up. You know, I'm very, very lucky for that. I'll always love my Bibiji, and I'm thankful for everything that she did for me.
We are ready next. No, yeah. She's not ready, then she can come later.
Thank you, Ashbea, those kind words. Little backstory on, I've been gone for the last 6 years away from my family because I served in the military. So I missed of all the things from the time I left to the military to come home and be with her during the times that she was, you know, getting older and older and older. But I was it was God's blessing just to see her alive just about a month ago. And, you know, when I received the phone call from Shivani Didi that she had passed, I had tears while flying here from South Korea. That is where I reside right now. I'm in South Korea. And I'm just thinking of all the things about Bibiji that we will miss. It was an honor and God's blessing to see her alive just about a month ago. Bibiji was a spiritual, peaceful, and kind, loving grandmother. She made sure everyone was taken care of before herself. When I was in the military, we followed certain Army values: loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. Our Bibiji represented all those values. She never gave up on her grandchildren or her own children. We were all her kids. She fed, bathed, and clothed us. And you never left her house hungry. Even if you said, "No, I'm not hungry," she didn't believe you. She still fed you. She was an amazing cook. Her aloo prantas were awesome. She lived a great life, and now she rests with the Lord. I salute you, Bibiji, for everything you have done for us. I love you and will always miss you. You know, back to the food part, I know we all talk about how such a good cook she was. But to lighten up the room, when you walk into her house, the first thing you say, you're going to greet her and say namaste. But it was, "Tusi kuch khana hai?" मैंने कहा, "Bibiji, मैं कुछ नहीं खाना, भूख नहीं लगी है." And, you know, she would still go back to the kitchen. As you sat down, she went to the kitchen and brought out food. मैंने कहा, "Bibiji, मैं कुछ नहीं खाना, भूख नहीं लगी है." And then I say, "Okay, kuch pee lo." Acha Bibiji, mango juice pee lo. So she would bring, you know, juice. I mean, it's just what she did, like in that house. She cooked, she cleaned, she made sure everything was done, and then she sat down in the spot that nobody sat down. Nobody sat in that couch where she sat in that spot, and watching her bhajans or Ramayan, just brightens your day when you see her. So I'll be just truly gonna miss her a lot. I'm gonna miss every part of her. She is the greatest, and I salute her for everything she's done for us. So thank you.
You want to come? Yeah. Okay, so this message is from Priya. So Priya says she remembers the times when she was young. She was a young girl. She would always run up to Bibiji and give her a huge hug whenever she visited San Jose. Growing up, I spent all my holidays with Bibiji, and she always told me how much she loved my smile and would always give me a lot of hugs and loved me unconditionally. Every family get-together, I would sit next to Bibiji and would have fun talking about movies and playing chutes and ladders. I especially enjoyed watching Mahabharat with her, as she would explain the story in simple terms. My favorite trip with her was to the Canadian Rockies, as I was sharing the room with my grandparents. Every night, my favorite activity was that of the day. As her health declined when I visited her, I would do hand-over-hand drawing flowers with her, which she thoroughly enjoyed. We would also listen to Gita Path together. Growing up, I always had a lot of fun when she was around me. I will always keep her memories with me, and to me, she was the best grandmother in the whole wide world. I will miss you very much, Bibiji.
Love you. Love you.
Good job.
Thank you.
Thanks. So lots of tough acts to follow, but thanks everyone for being here. Today we gather to celebrate the life of a remarkable woman. She was not just a grandmother, but a guiding light and a source of wisdom whose existence reflected the essence of divine grace and wisdom. Growing up, Bibiji would spend most of her free time watching the original Ramayana and Mahabharat series. This was my first true exposure to our rich culture and deep history. Much like the legendary Princess Savitri from the Mahabharat, Bibiji embodied unwavering devotion and selflessness, especially in her role as a devoted wife and mother. Princess Savitri in the Mahabharat refused to let fate separate her from her beloved husband Satyavan, just as our own Savitri Devi's love and dedication knew no bounds. Her commitment to her family was unparalleled, and her nurturing spirit reflected in her culinary prowess. Her kitchen was not just a place for cooking. It was a sanctuary where she channeled the spirit of Annapurna Devi, our goddess of food and nourishment. Just like Annapurna Devi, Bibiji saw cooking not just as a chore, but as a sacred duty. Her meals were infused with love, care, and devotion. And she didn't just cook. She crafted experiences, weaving flavors and aromas that brought joy and comfort to all who sat around her table. As her granddaughter, I had the privilege of witnessing the magic that unfolded in her kitchen. It was there that I not only learned the art of cooking, but also gained a deeper understanding of the importance of nourishing both the body and the soul. Her passion for cooking ignited my own, leading me on a journey to culinary school and beyond. Whenever I had a rough day in the kitchen and my chefs were yelling at me for accidentally burning things to a crisp, I would remember that cooking and creating is in my blood, and I stopped doubting myself. This ultimately brought me to where I am today, and I will never forget the foundation that kept me going. But beyond her culinary talents, Bibiji taught us profound lessons in simplicity, detachment, and duty, echoing the timeless teachings of the Bhagavad Gita.
Her life exemplified the principle of performing one's duty without attachment to the results. She lived with grace, humility, and a steadfast commitment to her responsibilities, never seeking recognition or reward. As we mourn her passing, let us also celebrate the legacy she leaves behind, a legacy of love, wisdom, and unwavering devotion. While we may continue to search for answers to life's biggest questions, let us remember that perhaps the greatest teachings were right in front of us all along, embodied in the simple yet profound life of our Savitri Devi. May her soul find eternal peace as she continues her journey beyond this earthly realm. Farewell, my love, my dear Bibiji. I don't want to imagine life without you, and I know you will forever live on in our hearts and memories.
Anybody else? मैंने जब यहाँ बैठा था तो I went through my books and I found a poetry about माँ. ये हिंदी में है. And this is my tribute to dear Bibi ji. जैसे मैंने कह गए हैं कि I didn't know her, but it's my tribute and my contribution to Arun family. It says, it's in Hindi, माँ तो आखिर माँ होती है, अपने सपनों को त्याग कर रातों को जाग कर हमारे ख्याल करती है माँ. उनके बिना ज़िंदगी अधूरी है, ममता माई आंचल के ज़िंदगी है. जैसे गौरी और जानकी की खुशियों के तो यो है मोती. She was like a diamond. खुशियों की तो है ये मोती. माँ की आँखों में करुणा की ज्योति. करुणा means compassion, kindness, nursing attitude. माँ की आँखों में है करुणा की ज्योति. रिश्तों को वो सजोर रखती है, सारे दर्द खुद ही सह लेती है. When others are sick, when others are suffering, सारे दर्द खुद ही सह लेती है. अपनों में सब सकेत लेती है, मौत से वे भी लड़ लेती है. कभी दुर्गा के कभी चांदनी की रूप लेती है. जब बात अपने बच्चों पर आती है तो वो ईश्वर की परछाई हो जाती है माँ. As you said, she was like goddess. माँ तो आखिर माँ ही होती है. So, ladies and gentlemen, when you lose your mother, you will not get anybody like a mom or even familiar to the mom. Mom and dad are two people. When you lose it, they are gone. Nobody can replace them. And no one can say that, you have found another person who's just like a mother. No matter how much you try, no matter how much love and affection they give you, once you lose your mom, it's gone. I lost my mother about 12 years ago. And on a dark night when I go out and look at a star, I say, there's my mother. And that's how I remember it. Okay? अच्छा, हम 2-3 श्लोक आपके सामने रखेंगे भागवत गीता से, और फिर हम अंतिम संस्कार के लिए यहाँ से क्रेमेटोरियम चलेंगे. And how much time do we have? We have some time, right? पहला भागवत गीता चैप्टर 2 verse 27. जात से ही धिर्वो मृत्यु ध्रुवम जान में मात से चा तस्मत् परिहर्यता तीवम सोसितम अर्हसि. Over here, simply it has been explained in Bhagavad Gita, whoever is born is certain to die. A person who is dead is certain to be born again according to your karmas. So just remember that karmas are very important. Do good karmas and you'll come back as a better human being. very simply. न जायते मृत्यु वा कदाचिन नयं भुवता भविते वे न भुवे अजो नित्य सस्वतो ये पुराणे न अन्यते अन्माने शरीर. Soul is never born nor it dies. It is always the same, unborn, eternal, and it never dies. And on the death, the body is cremated and the soul goes to the Paramatma. Ani ani gachanti bhutani yama mandiram shreshta shavitam kamiche param. Over here it says, people die every day. Their relatives perform their last rites at the crematorium. Yet, after returning to their home, they always think they will live forever. I mean, say, we are human beings, especially young children, they think they'll live forever. Okay? That's not true. You know, हमारे भी बारी आएगी, okay? धानी धानी पश्चे घतारे नरी देवे धरीजा शमशान दयाची परलोक मार्गे कर्मोगे गचाति इव एक. Over here, it gives the fact of life. The riches are left behind in your banks. The wife and the children are left behind at the gates of the crematorium. The body shall be consumed by the fire. On the way to there, the soul alone goes with the deeds. हमारे कर्म के साथ हमारे आत्मा जाती है. Okay, so that's very important to remember. Eva vashi varve bhutani ekam rupam budheye karoti matmedam na pashyanti darshatam yeshuke deshte. Over here it says, God is the controller. God has given us this life and He's taken this life. He is sitting in everybody's soul. He converts from one form to the other. The learned people who see God within their soul only enjoy the eternal bliss and not others. So always have some kind of a faith and belief in God. This simply teaches us that. Ghareshvarta nivane samshane cha nandaye sharira kasta madaye oyam punyam savrajat. Once again it says, once possessions and bank accounts are left behind, the only thing that goes with your soul is the karmic deeds. So karmas is very important. You know, even Americans believe in karma. They call it karma. And it's amazing. Karma is one of the bases of Hinduism. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtim Vardmana Urvarakmiva Bandhana Mrityu Mokshi Ma Amritat. This mantra is like a Gayatri mantra, okay, Maha mantras. It teaches us that, oh Lord, you know, give us a long, happy, joyous, and a blissful life so that we can enjoy our careers, we can enjoy our children, we can enjoy our grandchildren. And only let me go when I'm ready to go. And the example over here that is given is like a mango on a tree. You know, the mango tree bows down with all the fruits. And if you throw a stone at the mango, you know, it won't fall. A mango will only fall when it is really ripe and ready for the consumption of the human beings. Okay? So that's the way this mantra has been described. We only want to leave this world when we have done and achieved everything and accomplished everything in our life. And a lot of us, you know, by living a pure, simple, honest, devoted life can do that. A lot of us, you know, they have a short life for one reason or the other, aren't able to do it, but we should strive for it. The scripture says, you know, we Hindus should be able to live 100 years. Everywhere you read, they say, you know, apne karme ke mutabik, you know, you should be able to live 100. But who does? I don't think I'll live 100 years. And the other one, chapter 11, Bhagavad Gita, verse 44. तस्मत् प्रणायं प्रन्धीकयं प्रसादय तवम अहम इशम इदम पीतवेप्ते ओम शकवा शकम. On behalf of I am saying to the Lord, ईश्वर से हम कहते हैं, O Lord, I ask for your mercy. Please forgive me for the wrongs and mistakes that I have made in my life. जैसे मैंने पहले कहा है, we are human beings. We'll continue to make all kinds of mistakes, advertently or inadvertently, So the mantra says, please forgive me just like a father forgives his son, a friend forgives his best friend. Okay? So उनकी तरफ से हम ईश्वर से माफ़ी मांग लिए. अच्छा, आप लोग खड़े हो जाइए. I will just conclude with some Shanti part. If you want, हाथ जोड़ लीजिए. तुम्ही हो माता हो पिता, तुम्ही हो बंधु हो सखा, तुम्ही हो विद्या द्रविणम, तुम्ही हो सर्वम मम देव देवा. Oh Lord, you are my mother, father, everything. Please bless me and give me a long life. Om Sharve Bhavantu Sukhnaye, Om Sharve Shanti Nirmaye, Om Sharve Bhadrani Pashantu, Ma Kashchatit Dukh Bhage Bhavatu. Very good. हमारे दुख दूर कीजिए ईश्वर. Om Purnamada पूर्णमिधं पूर्णमुदच्यते ओम पूर्येणसा पूर्येमधा पूर्येमवा विश्वतताय शांति. हे ईश्वर, मुझे शांति दीजिए, मुझे गिव मी ब्लिस, गिव मी पीस, गिव मी बरकत, गिव मी प्रॉस्पेरिटी. ओम अस्तोमा सद्गमाय तमसोमा ज्योतिर्गमाय मृत्युमा अमृतम गमाय. Take me out from darkness into the light. Give me a long life. Give me a joy and happiness so that I can enjoy my children and grandchildren and my life on this Mother Earth. Okay, some more Shanti part, then we all conclude. Om Sharvesham Savitar Bhavatu, Om Sharvesham Shantir Bhavatu, Om Sharvesham Purgam Bhavatu, Om Sharvesham Mangalam Bhavatu, Om Sharvesham Shukhnaye Bhavatu. ओम देव शांति. आप लोग जानते हैं, मेरे साथ बोलिए. उनको भी अच्छा लगेगा, मुझे भी अच्छा लगेगा, ईश्वर को भी अच्छा लगेगा, आत्मा को भी अच्छा लगेगा. ओम देव शांति. अंतरिक्षे ग्वम शांति. पृथ्वी शांतिरापा शांतिरोषधया शांति वनस्पतया शांति विश्वे वेदा शांति सर्वं शांति शांतिरेवा शांति श्यामा शांतिरेधि. ओम शांति शांति शांति. ओम. अच्छा, अंत में मैं यही कहना चाहता हूँ बीबी जी से कि आपके परिवार की तरफ से मैं एज द पंडित ऑफ द फैमिली कहना चाहता हूँ कि आपको आपकी परिवार भूलेंगे नहीं. आप उनके दिमाग में रहेंगे, उनके दिल में रहेंगे, उनके सपनों में रहेंगे, और वे सभी रोज़ आपके गीत में और अपने सभी बातचीत में आपके नाम लेते रहेंगे. और दूसरी बात हम कहना चाहते हैं, आपके परिवार की तरफ से हम आपको धन्यवाद देना चाहते हैं कि आप हमारे एक परिवार के मेंबर अच्छे तरह से आपने बिताया हमारे साथ. 92 years is a long time, and that's why you are loved and adored and admired by everyone, because you had such a nice relationship with everyone, and that's very important. मिलजुल के रहना चाहिए हमें सब परिवार, और बच्चों के साथ और फ्रेंड्स एंड दोस्त के साथ अगर जो मिलजुल के नहीं रहे, देन यू आर नॉट अ मेंबर ऑफ द फैमिली, आई डोंट केयर हु यू आर, ओके। और आखिरी में हम आपसे कहना चाहते हैं कि ईश्वर की दया से आपको जल्द से जल्द पूर्ण जन्म मिल जाता तो बहुत अच्छा रहता। ऑलराइट, ओम शांति शांति शांति। ऑलराइट, so now we'll have a viewing and then we'll go to the crematorium. पीछे से शुरू करें, and there's plenty of flowers there. But I don't know where I found this marker. Yes,
So you can relate to it. Yes.
Parivar will go last. Let the other guests come and come from the back. You guys should be coming from the back. And, yeah, into the flowers.